Greetings, everybody. This is Jaden, and I'm doing another fan cast of this time the Brazil, the Brazil FragPunk World Clash Finals. This will be between Work in Silence and TPR. Now, if you're wondering what TPR stands for, so am I. I actually looked up and down the official Discord server. I went to Brazil's official FragPunk Twitter account, official actual FragPunk Twitter account. Uh, Yeah, I didn't. I'm not saying I dug the deepest into it, but I did spend a solid good 15 or so minutes on the internet trying to find what it stood for. But well, I was just gonna call him TPR anyway as we get into a pause. I will be your sole observer as well as commentator. So yeah, let's just get into it. I may or may not do the semifinals for this region. I do not plan to. I just plan to do the games of the what is it? The grand finals, which is what you're looking at now. On Work in Silence's side, we have Mito, Bizen, Belky, Rhythm, and Gon. Who I am personally familiar with. I did not do a cast of these guys specifically on the YouTube channel, but I am familiar with them because I watched some of their games in the quarterfinals. Did I say quarterfinals? I mean semifinals. And on TPR's team, we have Zayn, IFS. I'm just gonna call them IFs. I'm not sure if it's an acronym or it's just IFs. It's probably just IFs. Brennan, Nesh, and PBS, who, these guys I am also slightly familiar with because I was watching a few games of their semifinals when they were not facing each other. As we get into another pause, I assume we're going to get 3 pauses here. Coming from a team, we might get 6 pauses. I'm not sure. This is at the start, so there might be a DC coming out. We see a choke getting banned by both teams, which always surprises me. I'm trying to actually think of this now. What would be the logic of, let's say you are on the attacking team, and you think choke is the best card here. Why would you ban it, assuming the defense is going to ban it? If not, you're going to pick it up yourself. What that tells me... Oh, also, I've said this before. I'll say it again. Attack is currently blue. Defense is currently red. Those colors are assigned to the teams themselves, so when they swap sides, they will still be the same color. That may be confusing for anyone new. So what that tells me is that offense, TPR, is valuing a different card. They think choke is the best card here, but we want to not be forced to pick it. As in, okay, there's a third pause for one of the sides. Do we get to see which side paused? No, I don't believe so. What that tells me is that they don't want to be forced to pick it. Because let's say you assume choke is the best card there, and the defense doesn't ban it, right? And you also don't ban it, then you're kind of forced to pick choke, right? Because then you don't want defense having it, but you want a different card, such as this Eagle Eyes. That might be why these overlap, or overlapping bans. Maybe I'm digging too much into it, maybe I'm reading too much into it. But well. Also thinking about it, we haven't seen much Superfly in this entire cast. I don't think I remember seeing much Superfly in this tournament in general. I wish I have. Just not a lot of Zephyrs being played, which is a if you don't know, I have a video on the channel with a person I played with who very much knew the ins and outs of Zephyr. They would pop stealth with Superfly, and they just would recon the site. They just get to push wherever they want. They didn't make noise while they were in the air, and yeah. All right, so that is the third and last. All right, Eagle Eyes and Deadly Rewind on the attacking team. Avenge Me on the defending squad. Avenge Me, not the greatest of everything, because it doesn't give you any value until really 2 people on your team die, but it is so good. Remember, it is universal damage, so it's not just, oh hey, my guns do more damage, my everything does more damage. So on this map, the Circuits doing what Circuits usually do, abusing the fact that they can deploy utility while no one else really can in the pre-phase. prep phase. Zayn already trying to dash through mid. No, did not burn one of his dashes. Usually you see a Corona dash through mid, specifically because of what just happened to him right there. He took 120 damage, almost got picked just by util. That's why you pick a Corona on this map on offense, so you can dash through mid. Dizen hoping to get a cheeky nade. Lines you up to where it blows up right when it hits the ground. Axon peeking mid. Do we have a Dex on offense? No, we have a Dex on defense. Gone, picking it up. I think I remember him playing it quite a bit. Zayn getting back top back off to full HP. And no kill so far this round. Very quiet start, which is not what we used to. At least not what I'm used to. Brennan droning out, catching a peek of Gone. Playing very aggressively as he should be with the Dex double. Dropping Noise is the offensive team. Trying to push through mid, axoning down the wall. Gets picked and their own pathogen walls them off from the refrag. That's unfortunate. Getting information off top mid. Are they? Gone wins the fight, only taking a single bullet. Pushing through to the defender spawn is the remaining 3 of the offense team. A is open. Looking at the defense, there is only one lurker in the form of Bilky, a flanker rather, catching mid control. So defense has all of map control. They know where everybody is on the defensive team because of this flank. PBS gets one with a pistol, and Belky on defense making use of the offensive nitro walls that was previously left there, to get an angle on the TPR squad. Weapon enhancement, rightfully so banned. That thing is broken. Melee rod, think about being banned. I would assume Tall Poppy over Melee rod. Melee rod is good, but it's not the best. I could see a Psychic Link getting banned out by often. Nah, Tall Poppy is just, this map has a lot of up and downs, a lot of stairs. It makes sense. What Hard Rain getting picked up on the offense side. DD buffs and Psychic Link on the defensive side. Psychic Link, very good. For defense, obviously. Gives you intel of, if you catch a person that's not with the team, you get to get intel on their lurk. If you catch a person that's grouping with a squad, you get the intel on the entire squad. Minimap shows it to your entire team. Do we have any swap offs? Nope, Nitro on both sides, as we usually expect. Throughout this entire series and this entire tournament, I've seen Nitro on both teams more often than not. Like, I've seen 2 Nitros more often than just 1 Nitro. Okay, as we get to see the defensive setup here. Circuit smokes going through. Circuit on both sides again. Here comes a util dump. Both, what is it, Kismet. Both Kismet nades getting sent through. IFS this time taking all the damage. This might be why Nesh is running. Wow, Gone runs up mid with his double, almost gets a kill. Rhythm here, playing very sneakily. This might be why they're running a pathogen on offense, actually. PBS gets picked, then gets traded. Gets a pick, then gets traded by Belky. This pathogen has been doing wonders for the offensive team. Maybe they just think, hey, we're always gonna take a bunch of damage going through mid. Oh well, how about we just heal it up? Belky going for the same flank that they did last round. Let's see if this is as successful. Maybe, hopefully not as just round winning / possibly game winning as last one. That's interesting. I didn't see any damage go off. They threw the Kismet nade, and during the startup of it, they changed perspectives. I wonder if that nade goes through the other side when they change the perspective. I honestly did not know that. Learned something from these guys every day. Gone, getting the spray hip firing, wins just by straight hip fire. Hard Rain giving TPR a little bit of advantage. There we go. There's another pick, evening it out at what could have been a 2v4 if they just lost some more gunfights. Luckily, they did not. 2v2, TPR has the defender's advantage, even though they're on offense. They planted the bomb, they now have defender's advantage. Belky and Mito need to push in them. Belky and Mito both have full HP, but Nesh and Zayn making use of this Hard Rain. This Hard Rain has been invaluable to them, as well as a pathogen. Just both of those factors keeping them topped off on HP this whole time. A 2-man angle that they have to keep into, a high-low setup, and very hard challenge for the defending squad. Medical error might get picked up by work in silence because, well, if they know how much value this pathogen's getting, if they're seeing, hey, I keep hitting this guy for 100 every single round, and he's still popping out at me at nearly full health, man. But both teams banned the Dragon's Breath. Very close quarters on this map. Dragon's Breath gets a lot of value. Axon being picked up on both sides, value there. Medical error being picked up by the offense. I mean, it's still just a good card, but over Infernal Hounds? Really? Well, Working Silence says, give me that. Give me the Gorilla Fighter as well on top of it. You don't want it, we'll take it. And the same reasons why Gorilla Hounds is or why Dragon's Breath is really good on this map, the same reasoning for Gorilla Hounds. A lot of corners, a lot of close range. Sometimes, you know, you're trying to put guys behind the corner, their hound comes around the corner, you have to shoot it, they shoot you as you're trying to shoot it, happens all the time. Circuit smokes, same as usual. Here comes a util dump mid. Belky just gets a spray. This gets one with his nade, with his Kismet nade. Ow, just a good spray by Belky with the LMG. That 45 round LMG. Okay, let's talk about the LMG for a second. That LMG is a 45 round LMG, very good recoil, true shot headshot to the head. People were running that on the first round, the second round, both on offense and defense, the last 2 rounds. People are preferring that over the M4 and the AK when they have access to both of those. Now, obviously, you lack some mobility with them as the offense team. All 3 members trying to push through mid, it seems. No, just PVS on a lurk. Can get flanked through mid, gets a drop down. Gets a cheeky flank. 1v3, he needs to get a 4 to win this round. Wait, he has balls on his sniper rifle scope. Did anybody else see that? he put a keychain on the left and right side of his scope. I have a question though. Does that not ever make you lose some gunfights? The fact that you are covering a good 30% more of your screen with that? Alrighty. Whatever. Weapon. We have not seen a single weapon morph get through, rightfully so. There has been no weapon morph so far. We've seen the card, but we've never seen it go through. It's always been banned. Dillahan's getting banned on the defense. I was going to say, are they really going to pick blast suits on offense? I mean, don't get me wrong. As they flop between the 2 blast suits and close havoc, offense really wants that blast suits. I mean, defense would want it too, but close havoc is, as I've been saying, this is a very good map for people like Axon, people who like to play up close and personal SMGs and shotties. There's a lot of corners to play. We do now see a Dex coming out on the offensive side. If there was one last round, I missed it. We see Zayn swapping over to it off the Corona. Yeah, on the offense side, you really just gotta wait out this util sometimes. They've been util dumping mid on defense every round, which makes sense. That's probably the only way defense really gets control of that side because of how fast offense gets there. The 2 Dex is about to meet each other. It looks like Gone wins his. Yep, Gone wins the Dex v Dex. Drone pushing through. Offensive side, both drones on the for the Nitro squads meeting up. Four man push from the TPR side. Second, I need to put on Do Not Disturb mode. There we go. I was trying to find it. And squad, they trade out 2 for 2, and Working Silence cleans up the last 3 really quickly. That was a quick execute that I missed most of, unfortunately, because I had to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. That is my bad. However, I did remember to mute my Discord this time. I also understand that my video camera is not working. Technical difficulties. I might just not post the video camera. Yeah, my video camera is cut out. Okay, well, I might just post either the part of this where the video camera is working, or I'm just not gonna post a webcam, which is, don't worry, that's not what you're here for anyway, right? We'll try mix it or mess around with it though. All right, let's see what we got. Muscle weakness band makes sense. Or by the defense squad, you don't want offense having that. Obviously, you don't want offense having that. That thing's been a boon in their side this entire time. Security check, very, very, very good on this map. There's like 2 doors towards mid. Very annoying for any team to have to deal with, even if you're on defense. It makes flanking impossible. It makes playing for rotates like impossible sometimes. It just gives so much map control to whoever team has it, and Working Silence does have it. Eye of the Reaper was the first pickup on the offense squad, which is interesting. Here comes Yuto down mid. Offense just says screw it, we'll push right through with a Corona and a Dex this time. Trades 2 for 2 on either team. And Nesh still having a pretty cheeky spot. PVS with the balls on his scope, pushing through again. About to see Gon jump peeking this. Okay, so if you don't know, between the glass and the floor, there is like a 1-inch gap on that railing. And as you can see there, you can very much shoot through it on offense, on defense. You take a precision gun like PVS just did, and get a free, pretty free pick. That was insane. That was awesome, quite frankly. Alright, let me mess around. I'll mess around with the webcam while we are not in between rounds. Rhythm finding his way. There's always been a lurker in the offensive spawn. Not that that does much. I mean, it just gives some information and some decent map control of defense. Brennan now having to watch for it. 3v2 TPR has the converter planted now. They are looking good spot. What can the Rhythm do on this defense? Mito making noise, possibly trying to distract for Rhythm. See if he can get a cheeky kill as they're retreating here. Does Nesh know? He pushes through. Gets the information at least. Here comes the util dump from an Axon. Here it is, an Axon the Wild. In his unnatural habitat, every time an Axon gets afraid, they press their one and only 12 buttons. They always seem to have a... Fortunately... Well, I say unfortunately. Fortunately for Working Silence, they win the round during the second half. Yeah, 12 nades, they recharge throughout the round, and if you ever feel like you're about to get pushed, if in that situation, like, you know, hey, there might be another person playing on that cover, or in this general area, hit your favorite button, spam some nades through the wall, spam your nades over a wall, spam your nades across the map. It gives you information, it gives you some chip damage, it might even let you a kill sometimes. It's so good. The fact that it can get used as utilism or as information gathering as well too. If you want to just throw nades on a corner, if you see no hit markers, well, you know no one's there. Homing projectiles getting banned by the defense on this second half swap. Psych deletion getting banned on the offense. Oh, compassion getting picked by TPR. A lot of them might be being affected by that right now, given that they are losing 1-4. Quick start from Working Silence. No. Oh. Pardon me. Working Silence picking up the O Compassion. Is that even affecting it? Maybe they picked it up so TPR can't have it? Is it less than or equal to, or just less than? Because if it's less than, nobody on their team is affected by it right now. And if it's less than or equal to, then only 2 of them are. Regardless, Quick Start being picked up on the defensive team. See, this is why I was confused, because I assumed Quick Start was on the offense. Oh, Compassion being picked up by TPR. Same Circuit Smokes going out mid. The Converter is being held by a Nitro off towards A main right now. They have a Spider on offense, so they can rotate anytime. This is a not too bloody of a round. Zayn, I'm pretty sure, yeah, Zayn and Gon both losing their clones, but no one actually dying. Both Nitros getting scouts off on the enemy team here. Zayn gets picked by Gon, loses the Dex v Dex. We're gonna see a lot of Dex v Dex, aren't we? Offense makes a lot of noise towards A, but there's 3 going towards B right now. They have the Spider teleports. Maybe they're just making noise and getting ready to TP over. They have their options because of those portals. Trade out again by members of both teams. If gets a pick and gets picked back. All 3 members of the defense Kind of running around with their chickens with their heads cut off, trying to see which side they push. And they know pushes are happening on both sides, and there's a Spire. They don't know where it's actually where the real push is, but it is truly on A. Belky covering with some util. And Rhythm might be first point of contact as the 3 members of the defending team push in, trying to scout the site. We got the kitty balls again from PVS, loving this cosmetic. They kind of know where the offense is set up now. The defending offense, where all 3 members are. Nesh being first point of contact, jumps over, gets picked off. LP needs to be the last one standing and does not play enough time for the team. Very much a blinking health bar on Brennan. That was a rather close round. One more bullet could have decided it if Brennan lost his fight. And if Brennan lost his fight and Work in Silence won theirs, this would be match point right now. What a shot by PVS. Wow, yeah, I'm gonna say that round came down to a matter of 1 or 2 bullets. Bulletproof designs and everybody dance now. Probably gonna be bans or first picks. I imagine they both get banned. Maybe reactive armor or IP def. Nah. Everybody dance is just it's like super jump from last patch. It's kind of the no skill I win card, and when you combine that with maybe some skill and let's say a lot of skill from these players, well, how did I say this? Even if you didn't know how to play the game and you just spammed the super jump or everybody dance now, you'll get a couple kills that round, kind of for free. Reactive arm being picked up by Work. And TPR with Battle Hardened and Full Moon. Battle Hardened, I feel like it's a very underrated card. Very easy to get that proc. Hell, you can proc it yourself if you wanted to. You can take 1 tick of... If you really wanted to, you can spawn, drop a Molly pistol for yourself, shoot the floor, take 1 tick of your Molly pistol, and you get a Battle Hardened buff. PVS with... Alright, this is some lineups you can use for your ranked games. I use that for Spire nades. Nading mid from their spawn. Dawn's double getting dispatched. Zayn still has his, treating it like a drone. Zayn no longer has his. I retract my statement. Rhythm just taking out Util Hill. Belky gets picked. Vizen gets picked. 5v3 right now. Is still in a very good spot. Oh, wait a minute. Mito wins that. So, I mean, Diffs was in a very good spot. He was just low on health, but it's trying to even it out a little bit. Work in Silence still very much in this round. TPR has the full buff right now from the full moon. The original push onto A was shut down. Rotating over to B does the converter on offense. Rhythm knows there's at least 2 people here. Pulls out, he's shot, he tries to take a last stand. Gets 1. Does he get 2? He gets 2. Does not get the 3rd, but evens out for his team. Rhythm pulling out the stops. Don gets 1 more, and Work in Silence takes this to match point. Gone, unfortunately, taking the spotlight. Okay, never mind. He didn't take nothing. I was going to say he take the spotlight from Rhythm for his double kill, evening out the round, but that headshot, I don't think that was... he obviously, as a player that's played the game a bunch, knows that people like to jump shot that specific piece of cover, but that looked like a reaction more than anything else. Sustained exposure probably going to get picked up here. Maybe a short ban by defense. Bullet upgrade and projectile scan makes perfect sense. Bullet upgrade, completely broken. The smokes scam enemies inside of it, as well as other amazing effects. Util, as if it wasn't already very good in this game, becomes better. Projectile scan, just like the projectile flashbangs, they get triggered on Nitro's drone projectiles, which would be Nitro, her drone has 10 flashbangs if she's using projectile flash, or she has 10 UAVs, or actually 10 advanced UAVs with wall hacks, I believe. Yeah, 10 UAVs with wall hacks attached to them. On her drone, which is very good for both squads, but obviously offense going to be picking that up because Nitro is being ran on both sides. We'll see the offensive setup by Fizzin on this Spider for the offensive Spider. Very cool to see. So, no Spider on defense. Spider's not best on this map. The rotates aren't that long anyway. Usual smokes by Cirquette, although I think the defensive Cirquette missed their smoke, their tornado. I keep calling it a smoke, but I mean, it is a smoke. Gon and Vizen both losing their doubles at the start of the round, as per usual, but they get the information, which is what is important. Ifs looking to get a cheeky flank, exposed by the headshot vision. Belky thinking about teleporting out, decides to stay. Gon loses his actual not double this time. Headache vision exposing him again because Nito gets picked. Ozen and Belky evening out for them, but offense has the site right now. Working Science gets this planted. Defense all in their spawn. TPR needs to try to stay in this round. Maybe I should say game if that's a little bit less confusing. Rhythm keeping control of A short. Defense pushes in, starts to get control of the site. Getting information. Brennan still has a drone, very crucial. Gets the information. Has both her drones, actually. Vizen gets picked. Does work in silence. This may not be a secure round as they originally thought, or as I originally thought. Taps the converter. And TPR stays in this game. That really there was not too much util towards the end of there. Obviously, at the end of the round, both the teams running out most of their util. Although Brennan still having both their drones was very, well, it was very crucial if they ended up winning that. But really, it was just 50-50s, winning gunfights. Phantom A site being banned by TPR, that makes sense. That gives Working Science so much on the offense. Sneak attack banned by defense. Flashlight picked up on offense, that makes sense. It was either that, I would imagine either Flashlight or Quick Reload would be picked up. I know teams been picking up Quick Reload every single time it's up. I always see it's not one of those that needs to be banned, but it's one of those that always gets picked as far as I know. Offense grabs a few extra converters for themselves. A lot to go with it. Time-saving kill and Quick Reload being picked on defense. I still think offense got pretty good cards, although time-saving kill, I say, just give me a second.
This converter belongs to Spider. In a rush, are they?
As I take a drink of water. Time-saving kill, a lot of rounds come down to the last 20 seconds, as we know, so taking 20 or 30 of those seconds off the board is pretty big. Speaking of time saving, imagine not having to reload. Saves a lot of time for TPR. Gon loses his double already. Zane keeping his towards the middle of the map. Zane playing his double very aggressively, taking up this space on the map, taking up mid for defense while everybody is alive on both teams. Pretty rare. Trying to push through, get a cheeky kill, trying to even it out, gets the information. Gon loses his single and his double for this round. A lot of damage being taken by work. TPR, man, they're getting closer and closer to taking this to duels. They do have defender's advantage on this map. A big util dump coming onto A, but util dumping A and then retreating over to B using the spider portals, which Spider did not. He could have just recalled a portal, dropped it, and they could all just take it and teleport if they plan to go to B. Belky with a long nade. Still 5v4, relatively bloodless round, even though, okay, I say that as Rhythm gets it. That was a 150 damage nade by Rhythm to get a pick to even out the score count. Belky gets tapped in the head by PBS. What a nade by Rhythm. Wow, I wish we saw that. But offense does get good positioning right now. They get onto the site. Rhythm had to give up A short, possibly hearing footsteps getting pushed through there. Now all of the offense team, now defending the converter, is all pushed up in this one area. Not the best for them. Spire Nade does hit one person, and they get a trade, but they lose the round. TPR staying in it. TPR has brought this to duel point, while Work in Silence is still in match point. Now, if you don't move your mouth on this video because you might get spoiled of whether or not this does go to duel or not. And if you're in duels, well, you know, if it comes down to a 1v3, you might get spoiled again because of the length of this video. Maybe I'll extend it a little bit so that doesn't happen. I'm not sure. So, but just don't move, just don't wiggle your mouse. How about that? Just don't tap into your YouTube. So, Big Heads, Lifesaver, Vampire Knight. Vitality Staff is underrated one in my opinion, but Kearshaw is also very good. Vampire Knight not getting picked up by either team. Kearshaw into Elusiveness picked up by Working Silence. I think they were lacking points for the other one. And the Vitality Staff, rightfully so, picked up on defense. I hope they know the power card. I think that thing is very good. We're about to see all the util pistols come out. Every last remaining charge of them. All the shard points were spent. And this is last round. This is for all the marbles. This is an insane nitro wall. Double nitro wall by PVS. Telling you information. Sane uses drone. PVS. The timing there. Luckily, PVS does drop down because Mito would have called that out on the drone. A lot of util coming in. Only Mito currently on the site. The defensive pathogen rotating over. Spider portal set up in case they want to rotate. Currently, the converter is over at A site. They make a 5-man push on the site. Yeah, they just all took the portal there. Util dumped the site. Then pulled a Mother Russia and sent all their people on the site. Takes it over. They have man advantage. Gone spray into the defensive spawn point. Converter going down. Just one left. PBS makes themselves known. 1v4 to try and keep them in it. And unfortunately, well, fortunately for Working Silence, they take round one. Game one, rather. In this Grand Finals.